This is Wednesday, December 11th, year of our Lord 2019. And in pre-algebra, the answers to yesterday's work is on the board. Finding the three ways to find average: mean, median, and mode. The dominant way we find average is add them up, divide by how many things you added. Addends. And that's our answers for 8 through 14. Another way to find average is to organize them least to greatest and then work your way from least to greatest till you get right down the middle. That's the median. Another way to find average is to see what data appears the most, and we call that the mode. Sometimes there is no mode because none of the data repeats. Sometimes there's more than one mode because more than one piece of data repeats. Everybody staying with me here? So sometimes there's no mode, sometimes there's more than one mode. And the last thing you had to learn was when you get a set of information, find the range from the least to the greatest. How do you find the least to the greatest? You subtract the least from the greatest. Right? You with me? So you go to school from, say, the age 5 to 18. You have to go to school. It's the law. After you're 18, you can choose to go to college. You can choose to go to trade school. You can choose to work for your parents' company. You can choose to be a bum, I guess. But after 18, so what's the range of years where you have to go to school? 13. Right? From 5. The range of years of your life that you have to go to school is 13. For most people, from like age 5 to 18. Most people are going to graduate at 18, unlike me. Who's graduating when they're 17? Seriously, when's your birthday?
August 21st.
Oh, I am.
Yeah, I am.
I
So,
did that wrong.
My birthday was actually even worse than Zacchaeus. Mine was in October. You know, middle of
I mean,
October.
mine's in August.
So I started my senior year when I was 16.
Mine's October.
And I was already small. It was a double whammy. Okay, I'm moving on, people. People out there in cyberspace, you can stop this at any time out there. Sawyer, Johnny, and Julia, make sure you get those correct answers. Turn the page. Notebook review. We are at review quiz 2. We are heading to the end of the semester, by the way. Most of you know that next week, secondary has what's called semester exams. You're considered secondary even though your semester exams aren't as prominent in your life as they are. If you're in 8th grade next year, they will be. If you're in 7th grade in 2 years, they take on more significance. Next Thursday, you get double, Mr. Franken. So second period's double next Thursday. One of those days we don't have second period. But next Thursday then is going to be a test over everything we've done so far in Chapter 5 and then a little bit into Chapter 6. So we're going to kind of not just do a Chapter 5 test next Thursday. It's going to be Chapter 5 information plus however far we get in Chapter 6 the days before that. Everybody got it? Okay. So right now we're on page 263 with a little checkup to make sure you're understanding everything we've done so far in Chapter 5. So you've got 1 through 14. And the goal is this Wednesday to have it done before class is up, and not only have it done, to be assured and affirmed that your answers are correct. So you're going to get to work on page 263. I'm not yet. I'm going to try to lag about 3 minutes behind you so that I put number 1 on the board well after you're done and you can check to see if you got it right instead of you sitting there waiting for me to do it. Because Noah, what does that benefit you if your job is to take a test and do well on it if all you're doing is always copying what I do. Doesn't benefit you come test time, does it? However, if you do the problem and then you see I do it on the board and you did it right, gives you that nice, warm, cozy feeling that you're going to do well on the test. And then if you don't do it the way I did it, it might make you feel uncomfortable for a minute, but then we can fix it because I'm here to help you fix it. And if I can't help you fix it and Mom can't help you fix it, did you know that there's a whole world out there in cyberspace? And if you go to one place on the internet and you find a person that's out there, like, you know, my lessons are on the internet. I hope no one's clicking on our thing, but there are so many people out there that maybe the way they say it works for you, or maybe the way that person said it works for you. You should do everything you can to understand it. I'm doing all I can to help you. Maybe it doesn't work, so someone else might. I won't even feel jealous. If Hans helps you with algebra better than me, oh well.
Well,
And if Hans helps you with pre-algebra better than me, I'm not going to show up tomorrow with my hair combed straight down. Oh boy, hold on. Some of you have been working for several minutes and some of you are still wondering where we're at. 263, the review quiz number 2. You're going to find out? I'm erasing this now. Yes, Bella. I'm not going to answer questions yet until listen, Bella, I'm going to do them on the board. But I'm lagging behind you so that you do it first. Don't skip it. Try it first. She who doesn't want to move seats over there disrupting the table. Lauren, why is Cam sitting there?
I don't know why she did I sit there.
She's supposed to sit over there, isn't she?
Exactly, so if she's sitting there, I can sit there.
Right, see Cam? Cam, is this an eye problem that you can't see the board?
No, I just want to sit.
So now Lauren's going to think I like you better than her.
Yeah. See, do you want me to bring you back over there?
Favoritism.
So I have to be able to, wait, Mr. Brady. Do you want me to
Yeah. We are going to be switching
I didn't
seats
say
pretty soon
anything.
now. She didn't say anything.
Wait, whatever.
But really, it's the right thing to do.
Okay. Keep me right here. I don't care.
All right, here we go. You should be far past number 1.
I'm on 2.
Ladies and gentlemen,
7.
you should be well beyond number 1. How do you find out what 1/25th is as a decimal? You divide 1 by 25, and you get 0.04. How do you find out what 4/9 is as a decimal? You do 4 divided by 9. However, Jonathan Mitchell doesn't have to do 4 divided by 9 anymore. Because this is a fraction to decimal equivalent that he has memorized. And if you don't have a lot of these memorized, you better start memorizing them because they're going to make your life a lot easier. Just like memorizing 7 times 9 is 63 made life a lot easier in elementary, realizing that anything over 9 is the numerator repeating itself. So 1/9 is 0.1 repeating, 2/9 is 0.2 repeating, so 4/9 is 0.4 repeating. Because when you do 9 or 4 divided by 9, you find out that it's going to be 9 times 4, 36. 40 minus 36 is 4. 9 times 4, 36. 40 minus, it's going to just keep repeating itself. So it's 0.4 with a line over the top to show it just repeats. And from now on, forever, the rest of your life, Kiera will never forget that all fractions with 9 as the denominator, the numerator just repeats when she changes it to a decimal. Number 3, 0.58, your job is to change that decimal into a fraction. So Dominic reads this number as 58 hundredths. So if this is 58 hundredths, he knows that he has to reduce that because they're both even. And his final answer is 29 fiftieths. Everybody should be done with 1 through 3 and not looking up, seeing what I'm doing and copying it. You should already have 1 through 3 done, correct?
Yes.
Just like Jonathan realizes that all fractions that have 9 in their denominator, the numerator repeats, he uses that same knowledge to look at number 4 and say, oh, it's 2 repeating. That must mean it's 2 over 9. Listen, just like you have come to the realization and you're going to always know that 2/9 is 0.2 repeating and 4/9 is 0.4 repeating. So now when you see 0.2 repeating, you know it's 2/9. Because you could have gone crazy trying to figure out what the fraction would be. How would you do that? 2 repeating. Would you write just 2 over 10? No, that's not true. Because 2 over 10 is 20 over 100. But 2 over 9 is 22 over 99. Is 222 over 999. The point to number 4 is, just as you remember anything over 9 repeats itself, do that in reverse. Anything that repeats itself like that must be over 9. 2/9 is 0.2 repeating. Therefore, 0.2 repeating is 2/9. You sure you got that? 7/9. Give me the decimal. 0.7 repeating. Okay, so now let's reverse it. Ready? 0.7 repeating. Give me the fraction. That's it. Get that down pat. Number 6. Everybody should be done with number 4. Now we need 5. I'm sorry, Gina. Will you forgive me? Number 5. Find the sum or difference. First thing I recognize in number 5 is the signs are different. So I'm going to find the difference. And what, before I even start, is my answer going to be positive or negative? It's going to be positive because I'm looking at an 8.4 compared to a 2.3. Okay? So number 5, if David doesn't mind, when I write it on the board, I'm going to rewrite it vertically. 8.4 minus, why? Because Seth says signs are different, find the difference. So I'm going to rewrite number 5 like this. Stop there. Does anybody not understand why I rewrote number 5 like that? Because I'm adding negative 2.301 plus 8.4. They're different signs. So I find the difference between them. And I'm going to use the sign of the larger absolute value. So your answer word to number 5 . $6.099, and it's positive. Spence, getting all this?
Yeah, I really messed number 5 up there.
Do you understand why I rewrote it like that?
Yeah.
Because the signs are different, so find the difference. Hopefully. You better get that out, David, and check your work against what's on the board. What? Okay. Well, how do you, so you still want to make sure you get the rest right, correct? Number 6. 15.25 plus 9.636. They're both positive, so I don't have to find the difference. I simply, they're both positive, so I don't find the difference. I simply add them together. What is 9.636 plus 15.25? 636. 9.636. There's number 6. Simple addition. 24, too much chatter, 24.886. Is everybody done with at least number 6? Number 7, Zacchaeus. What do you notice about the signs?
They're the same.
No, they're not. It's a subtraction problem.
Yeah.
So listen, think with me algebraically. You actually don't subtract, you add the opposite, so it ends up being the same thing. It's 14.65 minus 3.608. So no matter how you look at it, as a regular subtraction problem or algebraically, you're going to find the difference. And the answer is going to be positive. I will eventually. You already done with 7 and 8?
Yeah.
Is it okay if I take a shortcut and just write the answers, since I've already shown you how to set them up to 7 and 8?
Yeah.
The answer to 7, if everybody's done, Lauren and Spencer, the answer to 7 11.042.
That's right.
The answer to 8, it's subtraction. Brett says you don't actually subtract, you add the, so guess what number 8 turns into? No, it turns into this. I can't just write the answer to number 8. I got to show you this. Number 8 turns into 3.2 plus 0.225. There's number 8 written vertically. Raise your hand if you do not understand why I wrote it like that. Be honest. Raise your hand if you don't understand why I rewrote number 8 like I just wrote it on the board. You can't sit there and hide and expect to do well on the test unless you ask. And the only stupid question is the one that, so why did I rewrite it like this?
Because they have the same thing.
Okay.
I did this one.
Because in the book it says 3.2 minus negative 0.225. We learned a long time ago that thinking algebraically, we don't actually subtract, we add the opposite. So you basically change the subtraction sign to an addition sign as long as you change the sign of the next number. So I've made them both positive. Because when you subtract the negative, what have you done? You've made it positive. Make sense? So then I line up my decimal point. I annex zeros, because I can put zeros at the end of a decimal, and I get, for my answer, 3.425. Positive 3.425. That's number 8. Number 9, we're finding products. One's negative, one's positive. What's my final answer going to be? No. One's negative, one's positive. What's my final answer going to be?
Negative.
Negative. When it comes to multiplying and dividing, Casey says if the signs are different, it's negative. If the signs are the same, it's positive. So 15.3 times 0.48, when you do the multiplication, you get 7344. And Zacchaeus says there's 2 decimal places in one of my factors and 1 decimal place in the other factor for a total of 3. So I take that 7344 and I write it 3 places in, 7.344, and my answer is negative. When you multiplied 15.3 times 0.48, you got 7,344. Move the decimal point a total of 3 places in. Yes?
I got that one wrong. I got negative 7.29.
Okay, so you set it up right, Spence. You just got to check your multiplication. Somehow you erred in your multiplication. Number 10. You're going to multiply 3.88 times 0.9. Casey's just going to multiply 388 times 9. Isn't that what you're going to do, Cam? Cam, just multiply 388 times 9. Then when you're done, move your decimal point. How many places, Cam? 3 places. That's it. That's all you do with multiplication of decimal. So your answer is 3.492. Sid, you done with all these already?
How'd you get that?
What? Is everybody at least done with number 10? I didn't write these 2 on the board because it's basic multiplication. Just move the decimal point, the total number that it is in each factor. Number 11, division. First thing I recognize is both numbers are positive. So my answer is going to be positive. 0.162 divided by 2.7. I hope there's no one in middle school that still is confused about what number goes inside the box. If you don't develop this rhythm in your head that I did when I was in elementary school, and it stuck with me all the time, so now when I'm about to write this problem, that actually is going to be going in my head, the rhythm, how I write this. Ready? 0.162 divided by 2.7, I write it like this. 0.162 divided by 2.7. I recognize that when I divide with decimals, I can eliminate the decimal. Whoop, and make it a whole number. Wait, I can't do that unless I do the same thing inside the box. Straight up, there's my decimal point in my answer. I moved it 1 to the right out here, so I got to move it 1 to the right in there, and then straight up. Right? 27 doesn't go into 1. 27 doesn't go into 16. 27 does go into 162. How many times? I think, here's what I do in my mind's eye. I think 3 into 16. And I might try 5. When I try 5, I notice, oh, it's not quite enough. So the answer is 6. And don't you love when this happens? Comes out perfect. 0.06. This is number 11. Same process for number 12. The 2.07 goes inside the box. Everybody look up here for 1 second. 3 seconds. Raise your hand if this is not an issue for you, knowing which one goes inside the box. Everybody's clear on that now. Not everybody's hands up.
I'm good.
Everybody's clear on which number goes inside the box.
Yeah.
The first number you say is the dividend. You're dividing it by, therefore this is the divisor. The one that divides is a divisor, just like the one that walks is a, the one that jogs is a, the one that divides is a divisor, right? So it goes on the outside. The first number goes on the inside. So what do we get for number 12? So I can put the answers up there. Who got 9.2? Number 12, if you didn't get 9.2, you got to check your division. Number 12, 9.2. What'd you get for 13?
I got a lot
I wish we had a video for this. Racing camels.
Is that like a real?
A racing camel can travel at a speed of 11.7 miles per hour. You know what I'm glad about? That if that's a racing camel, that means it's running really fast. It's a racer. I think I can outrun it. Even at my, what are you laughing at? You don't think I can? You don't think I can run 12 miles an hour?
No. I mean, I've run a camel before and
That's
everything.
500 miles.
Maybe for a short period of
12 miles an
time.
hour.
No, I'm not for a whole mile. For a short distance.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I could run 12. Yeah, it's 5-minute mile. I can't do it for a whole mile. But I could run 12 miles per hour for a short distance of time. Like if the camel was chasing me 100 yards, I think I might be safe. Okay, anyway, hello. If the camel can travel at 11.75 miles per hour, how far does it travel in 0.02 hours at that speed? What am I supposed to do with those two numbers to find out the answer, David? Multiply those together. If I'm going 11.75 miles per hour, how long will I go in 0.02 hours? Multiply those two numbers together. Who wants to be brave and tell me what you got? How many miles did you go? David.
2.35.
Okay, let's. Time. All eyes up here.
Yes.
David, you're a genius. Because you just provided the whole class with, if we go back to one of the examples the other day, reasonable answer. Okay? Let's say you misplace your decimal. If David rereads the question, and the camel can go 11.75 miles per hour, and he only travels for 0.02 hours, he hardly travels for, what's 0.02? 0.1 of an hour is 6 minutes, right? He's not traveling very long. It's, David, he's not going to go over 2 miles. The answer is 0.235.
Oh, yeah.
0.235.
I got 352.5. 352 miles.
Okay, so Spencer, you're even more genius because your example for answer really defies reason, right? He's going 11.75 miles per hour, and in way less than an hour, you got him going how many miles? 352? So you would check your math. And finally, not ready to go yet. Finally, number 14. What'd you get for your mean? 1171.
Whoa.
Your mean is 1171. What'd you get for your median? 1173. What'd you get for your mode? There was no mode. And how about your range? 619. That is perfect timing. We got through review quiz 2 and you don't have homework. And you got all the answers. Adios.